guys, it's Bastian time. Welcome to Zelda News, I'm your host Bastian. So first of all, I'm just getting over a little bit of an illness, so forgive me if I don't seem my usual enthusiastic self. I'm trying really hard to not let the cold drag me down. Anyways, this is kind of interesting. A fan has taken upon themselves to solicit somebody to retranslate the Japanese version of Demise, his speech, basically, to Link at the end of the game of Skyward Sword, and then compare that to the official Nintendo of America translation. There are a lot of differences. It seems like in a lot of instances, Nintendo of America, and this is typical of them, not only translated it, but put in some extra stuff. Now, whether that extra stuff was approved by Nintendo of Japan, no way of knowing, but it definitely sort of changed the mood of Demise's speech a bit. Demise, as he was characterized in the Japanese one, was very to the point and not so flowery with his way of talking. He was just very direct. In the Japanese version, he talks about how the place that he and Link are going to go fight is the world of the Demon Tribe. And the Nintendo of America version doesn't mention that at all. They don't give you any indication what this unusual place is that he and Link go do battle in. So it's interesting that they left that part out. And the Demon Tribe thing is something that has been mentioned in previous Japanese version of the Zelda games, but has never quite been translated as that in the American versions. Leads some people to think that maybe the Dark Interlopers are this demon tribe, and all sorts of interesting possibilities that aren't covered in Hyrule Historia. So Hyrule Historia actually has gotten to its limits, and now there is theorizing possible beyond it again, so that's interesting. Next up is a very unusual story, and it comes from a website called Christwire, which purports itself to be a news site. And on that site, they had a news story about how they are certain that some certain Legend of Zelda fans are responsible for the travesty that was Hurricane Sandy. Now, they insist that there's a certain cult of Zelda fans who have together summoned the hurricane by playing the Song of Storms on their ocarinas, and that they are satanic and all of these things, and make various other assertions, but and that all Zelda games should be burned because it inspires this cult of Zelda fans. But what a lot of people don't seem to get about this is that it's satire. They're just kidding, it's just a huge joke. Their entire website is just a joke. It's a satire of fundamentalist Christian websites. It itself is not actually a fundamentalist Christian website, and really what it's doing is poking fun at those things. For instance, there were quite a few pastors who did claim that Hurricane Sandy was not caused by Zelda fans, but by gays, because they're gays being gay, and they cause horrible natural disasters somehow. So I guess the wrath of God or something. So it's poking fun at that there are people out there who claim these ridiculous things that we as rational thinking people would not. So, yeah, it's just as likely though, I suppose. Next up is a beautiful, beautiful cover of the Ballad of Goddess from Skyward Sword soundtrack, and the cover is done by this amazing choir, and I guess basically just the video is awesome. I mean, their arrangement of the song, of course, is great, but they've done a very professional-looking video that is not only of the choir singing the song, but also sort of cosplay-ish. They have their interpretation of Zelda and their interpretation of Impa, and it's really well done, very nicely filmed. It's really great to watch. You'll definitely want to click on the link below for that one. Our next story is about a poster, and it's up for purchase, and it's of a Skulltula. I think that's how you pronounce it. I used to say Skulltula, but it then occurred to me years later that the word is obviously supposed to be poking fun at the word tarantula. So if you take the Chula part of tarantula and then the skull, it's Skulltula, right? I don't know. Anyways, the point is it's an awesome poster, and if you want to pick up a copy, there's a link for you. And then our final story is about the soup, the pumpkin soup from Twilight Princess. And Feast of Fiction did an amazing video where they sure created a pumpkin soup, but it wasn't really super based on the one from Twilight Princess, because if I remember correctly, there was some fish involved in that one, and that's definitely not in their recipe. But if you want to learn how to make a delicious pumpkin soup, there you go. I was inspired by this video, so while I didn't follow their recipe, I did create I took one of the pumpkins that I got from the pumpkin patch and used that pumpkin stuff and paraded and created a cheddar pumpkin soup. And I think it was every bit as good as the one created by the Yetis in Twilight Princess, so that's just my opinion. If you want my recipe, let me know and I'll give it to you. It was delicious. I ate it all in like a day. So that's it for this episode of Zelda News. Tomorrow, of course, is the second Nintendo News episode, and I'll see you then, guys. Bye.